I think that if I have 500 million, I have two options. First option, I don't need cash flow in the future, so I will probably buy some residential asset in Paris, just for the future. And it's also very risky, the residential, because if I need money in the future, I can sell flat by flat, so it's very protected. And if I need cash flow, I will probably buy an asset which is a Tissman asset on Bercy, Paris Est. It's a Lumière asset, just because it's like a bond. It's a fantastic building of 130,000 square meters. Each floor has 10,000 square meters. So it's not a tower, it's a tower like that. It's a new district in Paris, because Paris is very bizarre, because all the offices are at the west. And 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the state decided to re-equilibrate the office between the east and the west. The defense is at the west, so they create some SEM, which is a public area to develop, Paris Rive Gauche and Bercy. And this building is just in the middle of the area at the east, and a fantastic building. The state is rented, I think, a third of the building for the 20 years long-term lease. So that's my choice.
Okay, very good. François?
I think I would do different things. Certainly in the industrial business, I would buy land for sure. There's a lack of development scheme for the coming years, so I would definitely do that. And I think I will do that also for the office if it's available, not only in Paris or around Paris, but perhaps also in Lyon. I would certainly invest in residential as well, but perhaps not in Paris, because I believe pricing is a little bit on the high side, although there's no rationale for price to decline, but I don't see any strong rationale for price to go up on the residential in Paris. It's very amazing. Paris has been one of the few cities across the world where basically housing pricing have been up over the last 3 years. So, and by significant number, like 20%. So it's interesting to see that. So I would certainly buy residential outside Paris, and I would also invest in the listed sector. Certainly buy some shares of Unibail or Gecina. I think Olivier, you were saying, or no, John was saying that actually it's difficult to find very prime assets, trophy assets in Paris, because there's few for sale. So I think the best bet you can have here is buy Gecina's shares, because they have certainly the most beautiful assets in Paris. So that's what I would do.
Thank you. John?
I have a view, and obviously I'm not the expert on France like the other gentleman.
You've still got 500 million.
But I've got 500 million. I won't buy Barclays shares. What I will do is I will... what we're finding is that the TMT sector, which is the technology, media and telecom sector, is growing. And the two cities in Europe which are the main beneficiaries are London and Paris. And what we're finding at the moment, we are the letting agents on the Shard and the Place, which, as you know, the Shard's it's launched today in effect in London. And we are finding that the interest from tenants on that particular scheme, this is relevant to Paris, is coming from a wide spread of different types of company. And what we've found in London over the last 12 to 24 months is that tenants are much more flexible in where they look to move for their new offices. And there's an area of London which is, as we all know now, it's called Tech City. It's just to the north of here, in effect. And that area has become particularly attractive with those type of tenants, TMT tenants. And we are advising a number of buyers in that location where the rents are going up by 20, 25, 30%. So the rental growth as a percentage, it's something you touched on earlier, for La Défense, is particularly attractive. And I think if I had this money to put into Paris, I would find the location close to the centre, because younger people, I think it's clear that the Generation Y, younger people coming out of university now, they're much more attracted by having offices which are close to where they live, where they go to a restaurant, where they shop, etc. They don't want to be on a train commuting. And therefore, because of that, I think these areas are becoming more attractive. Just outside the centre, but where you're able to offer flexible space. And we're seeing with Google, we're seeing with Facebook, the average age of a Google employee is 30. The average age of a Facebook employee is 26. That's the average age. You'll always have to have senior, experienced people, don't worry. But at the same time, you have these younger people, and they want to be in perhaps more flexible offices. So that's where I'd put the money in Paris. I'd find that location, which is probably just outside the centre, and I'd build a new tech city.
Very good.
Yeah, as I said previously, I will do like all of our clients do. They diversify their assets. So probably I believe really in my domestic market. As we see the French investors, they are really keen to invest today on the French real estate market. So definitely I will buy a building in a CBD around less than 100 million euro for secure, and probably to create some value if this building has to be refurbished or something. I will do definitely some speculative investment, because today they are very, very attractive, more than they have been in the past. So if the fundamentals are good, for sure the building will be rent. So I will put 100 in secure assets in Paris, 100 in speculative investment. Perhaps I try to find debt. I mean to provide debt to people, because now you've got mezzanine, which is very attractive, and some funds provide mezzanine debt to developers, and they can be well backed. So I will diversify and put one in secure asset in Paris, one in speculative, and very, very opportunistic.